Confident One, Conscious podcast. We have a music called Powerhouse in the building. Singer, songwriter, producer. Welcome, Shamir.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
It's a beautiful day. It's a wonderful day.
It's an evening.
Yeah, man. I'm blessed, you know.
Welcome. This is the Confident One, Conscious podcast.
Yes, bro.
So, Shamir, you are a musical powerhouse, man. You've done so much. In the industry.
Bro.
Let me take you back to a time that's so familiar with you. 207.
Yes.
Devil's Angel.
Yes.
Reading. How did that come about?
Well, I was still in high school.
Yes.
I was still in high school I was in Form 3.
Form 3.
I was in Form 3 in Shaurimoyo High School. And I remember every day after school, I'd go to one of my mentor studios. He's called Rizai.
Yeah.
He had a studio called Archangel.
A household name too.
Yeah, man. So I used to go record with Rizai almost every day. Like whenever I get an idea,
Okay.
he would always tell me, just come whenever you have an idea. Just
record.
Just come and record, do your thing, you know. And I remember going to the studio that day. It was around a Tuesday or a Monday. So I went to the studio, still in uniform. And when I go to the studio, two of the producers of that rhythm, plus Dean Fraser was also
the legendary
around.
Dean Fraser.
Man. Dean Fraser was around.
Yeah.
And I remember they came to pick up a keyboard because there's a specific keyboard that Apple Gabriel was supposed to perform using, and the only person who had that keyboard was an Alessis keyboard. The only person who had it was Rizai. And I remember meeting them at the studio, and then they were going through unfinished files. They were just going through unfinished files, listening to their mixes as they test the keyboard and this and that. So they got to that beat, Devil's Angel.
Yes. Massive rhythm.
So by then, the rhythm was still very sketchy because there was just drums and bass. I recorded on drums and bass. And I remember, so they looked at me and they were like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing in the studio with school uniform?
Yeah, you need to be studying for your exams,
Yeah.
for your cuts.
I remember that selector. It was called Panzer.
Yes.
Because Devil's Angels was produced by
A German sound system.
a German sound system called Supersonic. And there were two selectors and producers as well. There was Panzer and Spider. So they told me to sing. So Riza told him, no, the youth bad. Yeah, him sing and write and ting and everything, you know. So we're like, walk on, sing something. So I was there. And then, so I freestyled.
Yeah.
I just freestyled something random, and they were like, you're perfect. Your voice is perfect for this rhythm. So they played me a track.
Yeah.
So it was still sketchy. It was just a stem of drums and the bass line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I basically just sang on what I had. I recorded everything. It didn't take a lot of time, maybe 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And then it took them like 2 years to finish the mix and the master. And that's something common with a lot of producers in Europe.
They take time.
They take a lot of time. But what happens is that once they finish a project,
It's a perfect project.
it's a perfect project. There's zero mistakes.
Error. Okay.
Zero error, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was it.
On Fire was the record. Massive record.
It was that record.
Got so much airplay. It was on charts. Well, how did that change your life at that moment? You're young, you're a teenager in high school. You have this number one record on radio, TV.
Well, to be honest, I don't think I was very... I wasn't keen.
You were not ready for the success.
I wasn't keen. I wasn't keen on it. I wasn't keen on it because music wasn't the first thing. It wasn't the first thing for me.
Okay.
You know, I always figured that maybe after school, because I always wanted to be a teacher. Maybe after school.
But you're teaching through music, Shamir.
Yeah, I teach music now.
How about that?
I teach music now.
Yes.
And but it wasn't that thing that I wanted to do that much.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember the song would play on TV, would play on radio.
I first saw it on TV, national TV.
So I'd go to school, and then my headmistress was like, "Yeah,
Are you the guy I saw on TV?
I saw you on TV yesterday. What are you doing? What were you doing on TV?" So I'm trying to explain to her, it's just a video.
Yeah.
I recorded the video, I recorded the song, so it was released, so it just plays.
Okay.
But I don't think I was ready for that, because I remember I used to do a lot of gigs and I wasted a lot of money.
Okay, because you didn't have like a team and a professional, you didn't look at it as a business.
I had eventually, I had management.
Yeah.
I had management, but if you remember well, there was a certain period of, there was a certain spell that I just got lost from the industry.
Yeah, I remember.
Because I had some issues with my management.
Okay.
So they had to lock me out because of the contract that I had signed. I'd signed a long contract, maybe 5 years. And I was just 2 years into the contract. The song is doing well. It's playing everywhere. The tune is bad. We're getting bookings. I even got a booking for Rebel Salute that I couldn't go to.
The Rebel Salute.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I remember I spoke
Tony Rebel and Queen Africa.
I spoke to Tony Rebel. Back then, I didn't understand
this business, this music business.
It was just random because I talked to a lot of people. You know, I connected with Fraser. He used to send me rhythms, and that's one of the mistakes.
Dean Fraser, you're talking about the one and only Dean Fraser.
Yeah, man. Dean Fraser, we got along really well because he understood my story from the time I recorded Devil's Angels in the studio. He understood my story, you know, because he came from a slum just like me, you know, and he understood the struggle that a young person like me was going through, you know, because I wake up early in the morning, go to school, pass through the studio, take like 3-4 matatus, then go home to Kabete, you know. So it was a bit of a hassle, but he understood my struggle.
Okay.
And one of the problems that got me locked out of my contract, and then eventually not having to do anything for about 3 years till the contract ran out, was because VP Records was sending me rhythms. And then my manager...
VP Records.
Yeah, man. My manager signed another female artist. And then I would record on these rhythms. So instead of him sending back my project, he would give this female artist my projects to record and release.
Okay.
You see? So it became
this female artist?
She was called Cynthia Kuto. I don't know if you remember her.
I don't
she was on this competition called Idols or something.
Idols. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
She was really good. But then I didn't understand the logic of my manager, you know, undermining my work. And it was very, very painful for me, basically.
Yes.
That's when I started understanding that the business can be complicated.
The music business is complicated.
The music business was very, very complicated for me. And, you know, I told the manager, no, I don't like your vibe. You know, you can't do that to someone like me, you know. Like, you people have everything, you know. I come from a slum, you know. I work hard. You know, I take myself through school. You can't
just, you know, you can just play dirty like that.
So, it was a painful process for me because I love my music for one. My music,
and you're really good, Shamir.
It is my experience. I sing about my experiences. So for someone to get into the studio immediately after I leave and then voice the same thing,
project,
the same project on the same beat, and then attempt to send it back,
yes,
you know, while giving excuses. Shamir is becoming a complicated young artist.
He's becoming a star.
He's becoming a star. He doesn't want to voice on these things, so we decided to get
another person, a replacement.
Yeah, but then those people didn't want to hear anything about that. So they were like, no,
we want Shamir.
We sent this beat to him. So it's him. If it's not him, then
There's no project.
then no one else. So I think that's where now they got pissed. When they got pissed, and I also got pissed, I didn't want to sit down and talk to them anymore. So I told them, man, I can't work with you people. So I'll just leave you guys alone. You continue doing your thing. Me, I'm working out of this deal. So now they sent me threats and stuff like that. Told me I couldn't do anything as long as my contract is active. They are not going to, you know.
Did you ever seek any legal advice from a lawyer?
You know, the funny thing is,
Yes.
I had so many things going on in my life, you know. There was a lot of stuff going on in my family.
The fame.
Yeah, there was. I was going through a lot of pain. So, like, I wasn't thinking.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking straight. So they told me, now, you see, you can't sing, you can't perform,
Wow.
you can't record.
This is a Kenyan record label.
Yeah, man. Those guys were crazy, man. Those guys were crazy. So I just told them, fine, I don't mind. I'll just focus on shamba work with my mom in Kabete. And
So for 3 years, you didn't do music.
for 3 years, I didn't do anything, man.
Wow.
I didn't do anything. So eventually, after my contract ran out, I linked up with Grandpa Records, and they gave me a deal. So we worked on a couple of songs, but it wasn't my style.
You guys had a banger.
Yeah, we had a banger. I think that was my first song, actually.
Yeah.
After the contract came in, that was the first song that I did. And then the song went...
But it was a huge record.
It was a huge record,
yeah.
man. It was a huge record, and that's the song that relaunched my career.
For the 3 years, you never thought about seeking any advice or opinion from a lawyer?
Never.
You never thought about that?
Never, man.
Okay.
Never. I was just young. I was happy.
Okay.
I was happy. I didn't care whether I had any gig or not. I didn't care whether I could record or not. I just felt like, since I didn't force myself into the music.
Yeah, it's organic.
It's just organic, you know.
Yes.
Because I grew up around some amazing people, you know. I grew up around Kina Chris Darling.
Yes.
One of my best friends was Harry Kimani, you know.
Yeah, Harry
So
Kimani.
for me, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a worry for me.
Okay.
I just
knew I would get back.
Yeah,
on this. And
I just knew, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
What will you advise maybe someone listening right now or watching and thinking, I'm in the same predicament? This record label has told me I can't sing, I can't perform, and because of the contract. So what do you know now that you can tell a young artist listening and watching?
I think for me, to be honest, you can never really know people. You know, that's the sad part.
Don't trust anyone.
You can never really know people.
Yes.
You know, so what I would say is research. You know, like, you know,
Educate yourself.
Educate yourself. You know, because one of my things that made me lose a lot of things, a lot of opportunities from that time when I signed a bad contract was...
Did you ever go through the contract? Did you consult a lawyer?
I went through the contract, but then you know something with managers and lawyers. You know, they give you a nicely written contract. Yeah. It might be this one single page. Yeah?
A single page. Yeah.
It could be this one single page.
Yes.
Yeah? But then there's a small line.
A clause. It's called a clause.
You know, there's a small clause where something
is not right.
It's just not right. But you never see that part.
Yeah,
no matter how many times you read that contract, you just miss that small part. And then now reality comes in when you're trying to get out of that contract.
There's a clause here that you signed. You can't get out.
That's the thing. That's the thing, man.
So, what have you done differently since? Do you have a lawyer now? Do you consult? Do you sign contracts without reading and consulting a lawyer? What are you doing differently?
Lucky for me, yes. I have a couple of friends who are lawyers that I talk to a lot.
Okay.
I also have an amazing lady manager.
Okay.
But she doesn't live here. She's called Pila. She's very, very well conversant with the
music business.
With the music business in general, because she works with a lot of A-list artists.
Okay.
And Yeah, I'd say I'm lucky. I'm lucky because I have a couple of people that I rely on, but most of all and most importantly, I rely on my own research. It's very, very important to research things for yourself.
Get the knowledge for yourself.
Get the knowledge, man.
Before you go to a lawyer, a consultant.
You have to follow up.
Yes.
And you have to follow up. You have to be very, very keen. And you have to be very, very serious. When it comes to your work, this is your life, man.
Yeah.
This is your life.
It's your livelihood.
You have to be very keen.
Yes.
You have to be very keen. And always find a way, just find a way how you can dictate
your terms.
Because
you're the artist.
Exactly.
You're the one who makes music.
Exactly. Never let anyone tell you, no, Sasa, you do this and this and this and this and this and this. Yeah, sign here.
Sign here.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. If they come with 3 terms, come with 3 terms. You know, if they put 5 terms on the table,
come with 6, come with 7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that way, you kind of protect yourself from
exploitation.
These sleazy people, you know.
And they're out here, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. People want to make money.
Yeah. Okay.
People want to make money, Joe.
Wow. So you feel like the point you are at right now, knowing all that, all the experience, do you feel like you can consider yourself having a good team, a good management, having a team around you that can handle business in a proper way?
I'm very confident. I'm very confident.
And this is about confidence. It's
about confidence. It's about confidence. Whole heap of confidence.
Right.
You see me? Yeah. So I'd say I'm confident.
Okay.
I'm confident where I am. I've learned a lot.
Okay.
And I'm working with a lot of artists, and I'm also putting them through these steps that I've been through.
Yeah,
I'm also guiding them through that process.
Yes.
So I'm happy about that, man.
All right. All the best, Shamir. We are inspiring confidence right now. Guys are listening, guys are watching.
Yeah, bro.
So they need to be confident in their craft.
Man. Yeah, man.
So let's talk about Shamir, the producer. I mean, you are one of the best.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the record you broke, Kadhi Matete's record, No Retreat.
No Retreat.
Yes.
No retreat, no surrender. Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
I remember voicing that tune.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, creating reggae music has always been, it's always a fulfilling process for me. Because I remember the stems of that beat was made in 2013.
2013. 8 years, I don't know, 9 years ago.
I have a couple of folders where I build over time.
Yes.
I never really build a track of a couple of hours or a couple of days.
Yes.
I build a drum work.
Yeah.
Maybe a drum work. And then I add a couple of elements and then I leave it alone. So after a few months and then I go back to the same project, I listen to it again and then I add another element. So that's what I did with Kathy's No Retreat.
Yeah.
So by the time I was touching it up again, I was around a year and a half now.
Yes.
Yeah. So we sat in the studio and she wanted to do something that would help launch her music. And we went through a couple of ideas. Some were working, some were not working. And eventually, I stumbled on that track. And then I was like, there's this beat here.
Yes. That I think you can jump on it and kill.
Yeah. So I just felt like it was just perfect because she just flowed into it. You know, that's the thing. That's the amazing thing about good music.
Good music, yeah.
Like you don't force it.
So it's organic, natural.
It's just natural,
happens,
man. You know, she just connected with the beat instant. Yani, you know, and she did the chorus. I helped her do a few things here and there, changing dynamics in the song. And eventually, I just did the mix and the master. And then my friend who I ran the studio with, is called Danville. Dan heard the song and he was like, this is a hit.
Record, yeah.
You know, this is a hit. You know, that was the amazing thing about it. Dan came in and said, I'm shooting the video.
Yeah,
you know?
down. Okay.
You know, and a week later, the song was out.
Okay.
So it was just an amazing project where everything just fell into place.
Okay.
You know, everything just fell into place, and yeah.
So now, as a producer, since you've been an artist frustrated by record labels,
Yes.
what do you do differently since you're now in that position of power? Because producers, you have that power.
Yeah,
you
man.
can
Yeah,
decide not to release an album. You can decide not to give the files. What are you doing differently from all that you've learned?
I think for me, I have steps.
Okay.
I have steps how I do my work. One,
Yeah.
it has to be perfect.
You're a perfectionist?
I'm a perfectionist, man. Yeah, we have a perfectionist.
Okay.
I'm a perfectionist.
Yes.
First of all, it has to be right.
Yes.
And then I have to know the target audience of where that song is going to go. And I have to know who's willing to push it and who's not willing to push it.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes...
Very intentional with your work.
Yeah, I'm very intentional.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you might send a project to Heno.
Yes.
Heno will not like it. And I trust his ears.
Okay.
I trust his ears very much. Heno will not like it. But then you send it to maybe Kinanani. You send it to Tear Gas. Tear Gas will play it every day.
You'd critique it.
And they're like, what's happening here? Yeah. So what I normally do is,
Yes.
I have people that I test songs with. So I'll send it.
And you send me records too.
Yeah. I'll send it to Sheriff. Yeah. I'll send it to Tear Gas. Yeah. I'll send it to Heno.
Yes.
And I'll send it to maybe Steve Jr.
Yes.
And then maybe I'll send it to Full Stop, and then I'll see their reaction.
Yeah.
I'll see their reaction. So if all of them react well to the song,
this is it.
I'm like, fine, this is going out. If they don't react well to the song, then I go back to the drawing board.
Okay, and find out where did I go wrong?
Yeah, and something else that I'm doing different with my music is that I have a Spotify page. That's doing very well.
Okay, I saw your figures. Your listens.
We don't play. Yeah, we don't play. So, and basically also, putting music out on my Spotify page also shows me how well a song might perform.
Okay,
and basically just sharing with a couple of people.
Yes.
A couple of friends, my manager as well. Although I send her a song and she's like, yeah, it's good.
She never tells you it's a bad
Every
record.
single song. Like I don't remember ever.
Yes.
Like I don't remember Pila ever telling me
this is a bad record.
It's not working. It's not working.
Okay.
So she's like, yeah, this is good.
This is dope. Yeah.
Yeah. So I test my songs with people.
Okay.
I test my songs with professionals.
Okay.
And also, I also get to decide myself.
Yourself.
I also get to decide depending on the vibe. Then I just put it out and.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about the album, Mr. Maximum. You sent me that album unreleased. I listen to it like every day. I have some favorite records.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's talk about Mr. Maximum. Why Mr. Maximum? Of course. Why that name? Why did you come up with it?
Well, for me, I wanted to reach out to like all the amazing men out there.
Okay.
Because there are some amazing men out there.
Yeah, they are. We are here. Aren't we amazing?
Because every time.
Yes.
Like to be honest, we're always bigging up women.
Yes.
We always
records. You sing about ladies all the time.
We're always bigging up ladies and things, So I wanted to put out a record that a confident man is talking to a confident woman.
And they're vibing on the same frequency.
And they're exactly, man. Yeah. You get me. So
yeah,
like I had to put out a record. The confident man, is expressing himself.
And he's not intimidated by that confident lady.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like he's putting it out there,
Yeah.
She wants a man full of action,
Yeah. And he also wants a lady full of action.
Exactly. Exactly. So for me, coming up with that name was basically an evolution of who I am.
Okay.
You know, from a young boy to
transitioning to a man.
To a man, you know.
Yes.
To a man. And, you know, also becoming good at what I do also kind of made me feel like I'm in that position to brag about it a bit, you know. Because, you know, it's been a long time coming, you know.
Yeah,
it's been a long time coming, you know. Becoming a producer, struggling and then becoming a good artist, you know, struggling and then becoming a good songwriter. You know, it's a process. It's a process, you know. Eventually you become a maximum person, you know.
Yeah, like a full package.
Exactly, exactly. So once I thought that I had become a full package, that's when I just decided to call myself.
So this album, the time was perfect.
The timing is perfect.
Yeah,
the timing is perfect. So I decided, well, I am a maximum.